So today is a little bit different. I'm not going to be on here talking about feels and all those things, even though this is 0800 feels. I wanted to do a very focused episode, session, whatever this is, because I really, really, really want to share something that has been really changing my life in just 2 weeks. I've just come in from outside where there's a thunderstorm, so I'm a bit gooey. But yes, this is really, really exciting. And as I said, I've only been doing this for 2 weeks. So I'm nowhere near the maximum effect of what this will be. But I felt it was very important that as many people, even if there's only a few of you, if there's one of you watching this now, but just to have this seed of information that potentially will also change everything about your life, your internal world. That's the most important part of this. This is about your internal world. So this is to do with manifestation, but this is not normal The Secret style manifestation or I think there's something called scripting where, you write down all these different things that you want and, that's pretty much where it ends. And you just walk around, yeah, I have this thing. It's all really good. There's really good foundations in that. But a couple of weeks ago, wow, the rain is very heavy. There might be big bursts of thunder soon. We'll see. Magical. Yeah, my friend basically sent me a video. I think her partner had been watching a lot of this guy, and he's called David McEwen. So off the bat, I'm going to say I'm just giving you a synopsis and how I am understanding it and how I'm practicing it for myself. But I would really, really recommend just binge watching as many videos of his as you can, because he obviously goes into this a lot deeper. He covers many, many aspects to this that is impossible for me just to go through in one 15-20 minute video, however long this is going to be. But I'm counting this as a seed. This is a seed with which you shall do, thou shall you will. Not even a phrase. So, David McEwen, he has brought together, from what I understand, he's brought together many, many ancient practices from esoteric schools, quite secret knowledge that I've not heard anyone that talks about manifestation talk about this. I went a bit off the manifestation thing because I had some success with scripting. That was quite cool. I think that was kind of a level beneath what this technique is. But David just goes really straight to the fucking source, which I feel a lot of manifestation channels, they don't really get to the actual meat and potatoes. So I know I'm going on a lot, but I feel it's important just to build you up to what this is. Now, yeah, I mean, I have my notes here because there's just a lot, and I wanted to give you as much as I could. But what I've been doing, so what he teaches is, instead of having a list of so many things that you want to do, it is raining so hard right now. I don't think I've ever heard it rain this hard in this place that I'm in. What you usually do, you think, okay, I want to have more money, I want to have a good relationship, or I want to get this kind of job, or I want, whatever you want. You'll usually have a list of things that manifestation people will teach, have your list, write as much down as you want. But the way David teaches it is actually, that's screwing the whole process up. Because if you think of manifestation, which really manifestation is just bringing something non-physical into the physical. It's not this magical thing. It's just you have a thought, you have thoughts, and then that comes into the physical realm. Everything has been manifested. Everything began as a thought. So I think it's not really this new age thing. If we look at it from this kind of newer perspective, it's literally just bringing your internal world into your physical reality. So the way David teaches it is, you want to identify a singular thing that you want to manifest. And it's not so much say you do want multiple things. The key is to find something that would imply other things. So money is quite a good one for that. Most people want more money because if you say one of your things is traveling, you want to travel. Instead of just focusing on traveling, which you could, but you want other things as well. Maybe focusing on money, like a specific amount. You imagine yourself getting a specific amount. That is your, what he calls a DCA, which is a definite chief aim, or SCA, which is a singular chief aim. So you want to set something very specific that will imply other things. So it could be, say you want a job promotion. That could imply other things. That could imply more money, a bigger house, whatever it is, you know. But you just want one thing that for you feels firstly achievable. You don't want to go too far out of your current reality, because as we'll get into, it's just your beliefs won't probably let that happen. So it needs to be really doable, you know. So money, say it's a large amount of money, maybe scale it back a bit until you feel really comfortable, until you've achieved that. Or, you know, just, I'm gonna put more videos because he goes really into it. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but just think it's got to be one thing, not a million things, just one thing. And what you're going to do is you're going to meditate on that DCA, that SCA, whatever you've set, for minimum 20 minutes a day. I actually am only doing 15 minutes with 5 minutes kind of getting myself, lightning, wow, you probably saw that in the back. I'm only doing it for maybe 15 minutes with 5 minutes kind of getting my, just breathing and just getting into a relaxed state, because you want to be in a relaxed state when you're doing this. So what I should say is, I'm kind of skipping ahead. Before you do that kind of focus meditation on that one thing, the most important thing is actually setting a specific scene. So say it's receiving money, and that large amount of money. What you can do is you could imagine yourself maybe 24, 48 hours after you've received that money or you've received that promotion, because actually that's when it will feel more normal. You don't really want to set it like in a dramatic, oh, you know, it's all happening now. It's got to be kind of after, so you're more, you know, it's more normal. You want that feeling of kind of a bit more normality in your body. So for example, mine is a financial one, because that's going to open up other things, you know, much bigger things that I want to be doing, like delegating tasks to people, starting to build my team, all of those things. So for me, money is the focus. And the way that I've personally set that up is there's a cafe not too far from here on the beach pier cafe. So I'm envisioning myself, my scene, my DCA scene, I don't know why I'm doing that, but yeah. My scene is I'm sitting at the beach cafe and I've ordered a green tea, very specific details. I've gone in, I've ordered my green tea. I'm sitting at the back at the same table. I'm looking out, I see a golden retriever running on the beach. I pull out my account, I look in my Revolut account, and I see that figure in green as it looks in the app in my account. And I'm feeling just that sense of relief, and it's like a deep sense of like, wow, like life can open, and life is, you know, it's all about the feeling. That's the most important thing. So instead of just doing that once and you just literally focus on that for the whole time, you are focusing on the whole time, but you're doing it in 20-second intervals. So in my case, I'm repeating, walking into the cafe, I order my green tea, I can visualize, I know how it feels, I know the sounds, I know how the wood feels like walking on the floor. You want it to be like a really kind of known, something that your senses, that was lightning, that was literally the thunder, lightning. Sounds like it hit something. It's crazy. So in my case, yeah, I walk in, I'm sitting down, I'm losing my trail of thought where I was going with that. It's okay, we'll get there. So yeah, I walk across and I can feel it. I'm tangibly, I'm feeling all of it. But I repeat that over and over for the whole time. Just 20, mine's probably about 30 seconds, 15 to 30 seconds of you just repeating that scene over and over again. So if yours is, you know, getting a new house or something like that, you have the scene where you've already got your keys, and maybe it's 2 days after you've just moved in, and you're kind of walking around, just, you know, you're walking around the house, like figuring out where you're going to put things, and you're feeling that feeling of like, yes, I'm in the house, you know. So that's really what you want to do. Obviously, again, I'll link videos so you can get more, you know, more of the way that he explains it, but that's the sort of synopsis of what you want to be doing every single day. This is a dedicated thing. Wow, I'm glad to not be outside right now. So, oh, it feels magical though. I'm glad I'm doing this video right now. I wasn't going to, but I was like, no, I know it's going to be a thunderstorm. It feels like a powerful time to do this. So yeah, that's basically how you're going to set it up. Now, that's the kind of practical instruction. That's pretty simple. You know, you just sit down for 15-20 minutes a day. And you can also obviously go throughout your day, just let that scene come in your mind over and over. And the important thing is you're feeling it, you know, you're feeling it in your heart and you're feeling excited about it. That's really important. So, I mean, take time thinking about what you want your DCA scene to be. Don't kind of rush it. And you can play with different things, you know, and just feel it out. Mine was pretty clear because it just came clearly, and I was like, that's the one. But my other friend, she just, you know, she wanted to take some time to think about it. So yeah, definitely don't rush that process. So I want to share a bit about what has happened to me since doing that, because this is where it's quite exciting, and also not exciting in the sense that it does bring up a lot of stuff. Like, you're really going to see where your limiting beliefs are and where you have, there's many words for it, but we're going to call them anchors. So things that, you know, beliefs that you might have that go completely against this new reality that you're bringing to yourself happening. And for example, if you have limiting beliefs that, you know, a house, like, as you're doing this, basically you're going to get things that try and convince you that this isn't possible. And there's many strategies that you can use to kind of help those. Now, it's probably going to involve a bit of shadow work. Again, David goes through many ways that you can sort of help yourself when those sort of, what he calls the storm, comes up. And it's, in a way, I've come to realize it's actually a really good thing. You know, when I started doing it, I felt really exhausted, like the day after I first really got into the meditation. And I found a lot of like negative thoughts and just old things that I thought that I processed came up. And for me, really though, it was the exhaustion. I felt really inexplicably, what's the word? I just felt really exhausted for no reason. Like, I didn't do anything different. I had a good night's sleep. It was really odd. And I realized, no, it's basically my body trying to catch up with the new frequency that I'm tapping into, because it will, you know, this is all very somatic as well. This is not just a mental experience. Your body is very involved in this. You know, our muscles hold a lot of old systems and structures that we've maybe built along the way. So your body will probably respond in a way unique to you, maybe not, but just as a pre-warning, like, expect yourself this not just to be a seamless process. Like, you will have to face certain things. Your nervous system needs time to catch up, you know. So a really important thing as well, so when you start doing this, it's very important that, because really what you're doing, you're connecting to the inner world, which is much more connected to source, or like, I keep doing that, don't I? It's very connected to source, you know. You're connecting to, you know, a future you, which already exists, you're connecting to that. So when you're doing this, you will get urges to do certain things. It's very hard to explain until you start experiencing this. But for example, you might be walking and you'll have a sudden urge, you know, I want to go down this route. And you might go down that route, and you might see someone that just happens to have some sort of information for you, or you might read something, or just a feeling will come over you that wouldn't have come over had you have gone your normal route. Now, David calls this an aligned action. And so that aligned action could come through anyway, and it's really important you follow that. So in my case, it's come up through just certain decisions with my website, trimming the fat of certain things, sorting out certain like folders on my desktop in a way that made me then rediscover something that I was like, oh, I really wanted to see this, and it's been really helpful. Another one was that I just had this random feeling to put my keyboard, my piano keyboard, in the center of my desk. And this is where it was crazy. This was maybe like 10 days since I'd been doing the DCA meditation. And yeah, the night before bed, I just had the feeling to put my keyboard in the center of my desk. And the next morning, I woke up and I had an email from an advert agency, like a music advert agency. And they basically asked me to create some music for a really big brand. And I haven't had one of those for maybe like 2 years. So yeah, I was like, wow, okay, something is definitely shifting here. Whether that would have happened anyway, I don't know. But for me, that was like, no, this is, I'm on the right course, you know. So, and now I've met some people through that. I've met that are, you know, I'm going to get more work through them. You know, it's more building towards that financial goal. And that's the thing, you're not going to achieve your DCA right away. It's not like you have nothing, and then it all comes. There's going to be like a process where the more that you stay focused and you keep staying consistent on your inner size, your inner exercise, and you keep doing your DCA, just those 20 minutes a day, you focus on just coming back to that when you feel yourself spiraling, you will see things come in that, you know, it's the way David described it, which has been really helpful for me, is that it's like you go to a restaurant and you order your main course. They might bring out the entrees, they'll bring out, you know, some more cutleries based on like what you might be eating, like a soup spoon or something. And you're not there being like, where's my main course? You're patient. You just understand that that's all part of the process of leading to your main course. And it's the same with this DCA meditation. Things are going to come along that may not be the full, you know, main course that you've ordered, but they're all going to be, you know, showing, okay, reality, the particle flow of, you know, building that inner form that you're creating into physical reality is coming together. And that's another thing. It's really cool to look at this, that you doing this DCA meditation is you're basically supercharging the particles to bring that thing into form. And so, you know, it's like a seed growing out the ground. If you plant multiple seeds but you only have a little bit of water, you know, which is your thoughts, and you know, there's only a number of thoughts because we have such a sea of so many a day that are, you know, gonna at first be able to be so focused on one thing. So that's why one thing is very important to focus on, as opposed to a million things, because that one seed is going to grow so much more than if you have multiple that you're trying to, you know, grow at one time. So, there's so much that I wanted to talk about, but maybe that's a good introduction. Yeah, I think it would be too much else to get in for now. The last thing actually I will say is, so another way to kind of help yourself not get so focused on why is it not coming, and, you know, how is it going to come, and all these things, which you don't worry about that. Don't worry how it's going to come. And also, you have to kind of ignore how your reality looks now. So if you're not in a place that you want to be, or you're not making enough, or you're not in you're still single, or whatever your DCA is going to be, our present moment now is basically our energetic history, meaning that our present moment is a expression of how our inner world has been previously. So it's not how we are now that is creating the now. The now is actually our energetic history. So know that every time you feed that DCA, you are feeding your next, you know, you're feeding your now to come in as you want it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's been really helpful to think of as well, because it's so easy, you know, our brains just want to find all the neggy around us. But you know, this is a training. I'm seeing this as training, and you want to give this, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks. That's, David says that's how long he kind of notices people kind of take to get there. But if you're really, really consistent with this, you'll see things changing really quickly. The same way, you know, just less than 2 weeks, I get this really cool opportunity with the advert, you know, and I live alone. I have maybe a head start in that sense because I don't have much distraction from other people. I'm not sure how this process would be if you're around other people, you know, there's distractions, but I believe anyone can do this with enough, you know, enough practice. So it just, you know, your time is just how, the time it takes is just how dedicated you are, and also, you know, just how much maybe gunk you still have inside of you to, you know, just lovingly look at, clear, use the methods David gives. As I said, this is a brief synopsis. He's got hours and hours of videos that every video I watch is like, oh, I get it now. Absolute golden. But yeah, I had to share this with you. I feel like a grease ball, but I really hope that this is helpful, and I'm fucking so excited for what will happen when you do this as well.